Welcome to Come Follow Me, primary kids. This week we'll study the lesson called Being a More Faithful Follower of Righteousness, covering Genesis chapters 12 through 17 and Abraham 1 and 2. Let's get started. After Noah left the ark, many years passed and his descendants spread throughout the earth. Some were righteous and others were wicked. Among the righteous descendants was a man named Abraham. He became known as the father of the faithful and also as the friend of God, because he loved the Lord and wanted to obey him with all his heart. Many people in the world honor Abraham as part of their family. Some were born into his lineage, and others became part of his family when they chose to follow Jesus Christ. But Abraham's life didn't start out easy. He grew up in a family that didn't worship the true God. His own father had chosen to follow false gods and didn't teach Abraham to love the Lord. Even so, Abraham made a very important decision. He wanted to be a good person and a faithful follower of what was right. Abraham wanted to know God and do his will even if it was different from what others did. The Lord saw Abraham's sincere desire and blessed him. God guided him, protected him, and helped him become a great prophet and an example of faith to many. Abraham's story teaches that a family's past does not decide a person's future. When someone chooses to love God and do right, their life can be filled with hope and blessings. Abraham grew up around people who didn't always want to do right, but in his heart, he had a special desire to love and obey God. That desire guided him in his decisions and in the way he lived each day. God told Abraham he would bless him with a big family, but years passed and he and his wife Sarah grew old and couldn't have children. Both wanted to start a family. Though that blessing took many years to arrive, they never stopped trusting God's promises, even when they didn't understand when those promises would be fulfilled. Abraham and Sarah kept believing and obeying until finally, they were able to have a son, whom they named Isaac. Through that miraculously born baby, God would fulfill his promise to make their descendants as numerous as the stars in the sky. God loved Abraham and Sarah very much, so he made special promises with them. These promises are called covenants. A covenant is a sacred promise between God and his children. The Lord promised Abraham that he would bless him, that his family would grow, and that through his family many people in the world would come to know the gospel. God also asked Abraham to be a blessing to others. These promises didn't end with Abraham and Sarah. God said the covenant would continue with his children and with all who chose to follow Jesus Christ. Today, that same covenant can continue in people's lives when they are baptized and make promises to God. As you keep these covenants, the Lord gives special strength, guidance, and blessings. God wants his children to make covenants with him because he loves them and wants to help them walk safely through life. When a person keeps his promises, the Lord walks with him and helps him in difficult times. Abraham's story teaches that making covenants with God not only brings blessings, but also helps people be a blessing to others. Finally, we will tell you a little about Abraham's nephew. Abraham and his nephew Lot traveled together with their families and their animals. Over time, they had so many flocks that there was no longer enough room for everyone. Abraham's shepherds and Lot's shepherds began to argue. The atmosphere became tense and it seemed trouble would soon arise between them. Abraham could have gotten angry or fought, but he chose a different path. Calmly and lovingly, he spoke to Lot and proposed a peaceful solution. He offered to let Lot choose first the land where he wanted to live. Abraham didn't think only of himself. He thought of peace and his family's well-being. In doing so, he avoided a fight and helped everyone move forward in harmony. This story teaches that Abraham was a peacemaker. He chose kindness over argument and love over anger. Just like Abraham, you too can be a peacemaker. When you share, when you speak kindly or look for solutions instead of fighting. By doing this, you're following his example and making your home and friendships places of peace. Abraham's life teaches that God knows the hearts of his children. Though Abraham didn't grow up in a perfect family, he chose to love God and do what was right, and the Lord blessed him for his faith and righteous desires. You can be more like Abraham. That's all for today. My name is Daniela Trejo, and together with Fernando Cavaletti, we bring you Come Follow Me Primary. Stay for the trivia. This week we learned the story of Abraham. Let's test what you know. How was Abraham known for his faith? A. The king of the desert. B. The builder of the temple. C. The father of the faithful. D. The richest man. Very good. Abraham was called this because he trusted God so much. What was the name of the son God promised to Abraham and Sarah? A. Jacob. B. Moses. C. Joseph. D. Isaac. Exactly. And he was born when they were already very old. It was a miracle. What important decision did Abraham make when he grew up in a family that didn't worship the true God? A. Keep doing the same as his father. B. Choose to love God and do what's right. C. Leave without saying anything. D. Build a tower. That's it. His family didn't decide his future. He chose to follow God. What is a covenant? A. A special party. B. A rule of the people. C. An ancient story. D. A sacred promise between God and his children. Correct. A covenant is a sacred promise. Let's level up, so gather the whole family. What did God promise Abraham about his family? A. His descendants would be as numerous as the stars. B. They'd always live in the same place. C. They'd be the richest in the world. D. They'd never have problems. That's right. And also that through his family, many people would be blessed. Last question, what did Abraham teach when he let Lot choose the land first? A. It's better to compete. B. He should always win. C. The prettiest land is best. D. It's better to seek peace and be a peacemaker. Just like Abraham, you can also choose peace. How many did you get right? Tell us in the comments. Hello, my name is Daniela Trejo, and today I'm going to teach you how to draw something new. This week we're learning the story of Abraham and his wife Sarah. So we're going to learn to draw them together with their son Isaac. You'll need a white sheet, a pencil, pen or marker for the outline, and colored pencils or markers. Let's start with Abraham's face. We'll draw a vertical line, and leaving enough space, we'll draw the next one. In the center of this shape, we'll make the nose like a little hook, and on each side, we'll put his eyes as little black dots. We'll draw his eyebrows above the eyes, but don't fill them in yet. Now remember that an important part of this story is that Abraham and Sarah were already very old, so we need to add more noticeable wrinkles, for example, next to the eyes, below them as well, and some in the center. Now let's start with the beard. Let's connect this line to this one with some irregular shapes. And we'll bring this shape down. Inside the beard, we'll draw a circle for his smile and a smaller line for the lip. To connect these two lines, we'll make a headband or band. You can decorate it however you like, with circles, lines, or diagonals. On the left side, we'll add his ear and draw these marks inside. Now let's start on the hair. We'll make curly hair that reaches about the height of the beard, making sure it doesn't cross the ear. We'll draw his neck below the beard and connect it with a point. Let's pause with Abraham and start on Sarah. For her face, draw a shape very similar to the letter U. On the right side, we'll add an ear. Just like with Abraham, we'll add a mark and start in the center of her face with the nose. Below that, we'll draw the smile in her eyes as two little dots. Let's add eyelashes, thin lines going upward, and her eyebrows will be curved. Now let's add the expression lines, just like we did with Abraham. Now let's start making the neck with two curves going down, and here they connect with a longer curve. Let's do Sarah's hair. We'll make some lines like these that cover and connect the head strokes. We'll put her hair behind her ear and place her veil on top. We won't close it yet because we're going to add her arm and want it to connect. Same thing on this side, we'll pause right there. And now we're ready to start on baby Isaac. We'll draw him lying down with his parents holding him in their arms. So pay close attention to the next strokes. Let's make a curve, one more. And we'll leave this shape right there. Inside, we'll add a nose, but very, very tiny, a smile, and his eyes closed. We add some tiny eyebrows and a bit of hair. Very good. Now we need to wrap him with a blanket. This blanket will go over his head. We'll pause here because this is where we start Sarah's hand. Just make the thumb like a hook, and from there we'll draw the other fingers. Connect these lines, draw a horizontal line to the right, then join this part up to the shoulder. We'll add a line to separate the arm from the torso and some marks, then move to the other side. We'll keep wrapping the baby and pause here to start Abraham's hand. We follow the same steps as with Sarah. Start with the thumb and from here trace the other four. And once more from here to the sleeve. And we're almost done. Let's finish wrapping our baby Isaac. We'll add a bit of blanket here and some marks. We'll finish Abraham's torso on this side, and Sarah's veil, also her shoulder, and now all that's left is finishing their robes. Remember, we want this to make sense, so let's draw an imaginary line to avoid covering baby Isaac, and from here we'll bring down Abraham's robe. Same thing on this side. And now Sarah's. And we're done. Here's how our drawing of Abraham, Sarah, and Isaac turned out. We're ready to fill it with color. That's how we finished our drawing of Abraham and his family. I hope you had as much fun as I did making this drawing. And remember, you can send us your drawing to our email, vensigamapremariasud@gmail.com, or on Facebook and Instagram. See you next time. It's time for greetings. Thank you for sending us your drawing. Shout out to Liam from Utah, Rishi, Providencia Neighborhood, Central Mexico, Ragnar, Providencia Neighborhood, Central Mexico, Andrea Carolina, Espinal Nunez, Honduras, Tegucigalpa, Julieta Pires, Uruguay, Juan Jose Estaca Penaflor, Chile, Augusto Muñoz, Buenos Aires, Ani Muñoz, Buenos Aires, Servando Andre Chavez Magadan, Nuevo Casas Grandes, Chihuahua. And a shout out to Juchitán neighborhood in Oaxaca. We invite you to draw with us this week and send us a photo by email, messenger, Instagram, or WhatsApp. Until next time. This week in Sharing Time, we present Abraham's Mini Kit. This kit will help you with your Come Follow Me study this week. We're going to show you everything that's included. In this digital file, you can find totally original illustrations from Come Follow Me Primary, starting with the cover. Each illustration helps you remember or teach an important part of Abraham's story. It includes a poster about Lot and Abraham, reminding the children in your class or family that they can be peacemakers. You'll find interactive activities like this coloring sheet, which also includes a star counting activity. This will help them remember what Jehovah promised Abraham. You can also play Spot the Difference, and as a reflection activity, draw yourself or your family following the instructions in the file. It also includes an answer sheet and suggestions for use. And finally, a pop-up scene of the story of Abraham and Lot. You can put it together with your family or your class. This makes your classes and teachings much more engaging and fun. You can find this file in our Etsy shop or buy directly from us through Facebook Messenger or Instagram. All the links are in the description. You can get this file for 60 Mexican pesos or $4 through PayPal. Send us a message.